So welcome back to album review.
Hey guys.
Great intro. So what have you got? What have you got for us?
So we're doing an album that I have seen live. This is
the whole album.
This is for the most part, I think I've seen 5 songs off of this album live.
Nice.
In the Philadelphia area. This band is legendary. They're called Horrendous. Philly band.
That's Horrendous.
They have this very unique death metal inspiration. It's more heavy metal-esque, but complicated in its orchestration. It's super nerdy and cool and fun. These dudes, I have so much to say in just one sentence, but they're badass as hell. They're sweet.
Yeah, I didn't know much about this band going into them. I've heard about them from you. I didn't know at all what they sounded like. I literally just knew the name.
Yeah, it's 4 guys. The drummer and the other guitar player are brothers.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if they started the band or if it was just something they had in mind, but they're a power duo in the band. The bass player and the other guitar player were, I think, founding members of the whole project.
Oh, cool.
So they're kick-ass. They're really cool dudes. I met them. I got a picture with them.
Put it on screen.
Yeah, dude. This album is incredible.
Should we jump into the tracks?
Yes.
Sure. I know nothing about them, so I don't think I even heard of them before you picked the album.
They're very underground. This is their most recent album. It's from 23.
Yeah, look, their first album came out in 2012 or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've been around a little bit then.
Or it might have been 2011.
They've been doing a lot of shows. They started opening up for bigger bands. The second time I seen these guys, they were an opening slot for a Canadian death metal band that used to do some pretty crazy shit up in Canada. They're still doing stuff now. They're awesome, but they opened up in the area. They were like, "We're coming to Philly. We need a band," so they got picked.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So, getting into the album, the first track is like an intro.
Yeah.
The Blaze.
I really like this intro track.
Melodic.
I love the instrumentals. Pretty much it really sets the tone for what the album's gonna sound like, but also not at the same time.
Yeah, because this definitely was an intro. The vocals were really, really down low. In
Yeah,
this
they were
song.
very minimal.
You could almost not hear them if you weren't reading them.
A subtle undertone.
But then, I guess that's just because it was the intro, because from then on you hear
Yeah.
the vocals are a lot louder than this song.
The next song is called Chrysopia. The
Archaeology of Dawn. The Archaeology of Dawn.
Yes. I was gonna say, huh?
I think it's a good track.
This is the first song they opened up with live.
Okay.
And I would consider this a good album opener.
Yeah,
This
I'd
is
say so.
a good bang.
Yeah, and there is range in these vocals too, because they change. The style changes throughout multiple songs. Sure, it's a lot heavier and aggressive, but sometimes it gets melodic at times, and it really flows well with the music in both ranges, I'd say.
Both guitar players are the vocalists of the band. They both
Okay.
they switch on and off on every song.
Oh, shit.
So the softer vocal is the guitar player, whose brother is the drummer.
Okay.
And the other one is the more scratchy vocalist, the one that sounds more raspy in his tone.
Mm-hmm.
The lead guitar player?
Yeah, they both interchange parts.
Oh,
so
okay.
one sings
Based on
and plays
just singing.
lead, the other sings and plays lead.
Okay.
They're pretty diverse
That's cool.
across each other. It's insane the technicality that both of the guys have. Well, everybody has, I should say. But yeah, this song is very melodic in its pace.
Definitely.
And very aggressive in some parts. It's very, very fun to listen to and nod your head to.
It's all just very impressive music when you really think about
Technically,
the shit they're doing.
Yeah.
Some of it, yeah, very technical.
The next track is Neon Leviathan. Pretty heavy, pretty fun, pretty thrashy.
Pretty dope.
Kick ass. I don't have too much to say on it.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Aurora Neoterica?
Yeah, Terica? I don't know.
Terica?
I wasn't sure how to pronounce that one.
I don't know what most of the words on most of the titles.
Is
of
this
these
the
songs
instrumentals track?
This is the what I would call the interlude.
Yeah, I really like this track too.
Yeah, it's supposed to give the band enough time live, I think, to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Because these songs are epics. They're all about
Yeah.
the first track is an 8-minute track almost, 7 minutes 15 seconds. Then you get a 3-minute and 30-second one. So that should definitely be like a chill moment.
Mm-hmm.
Give people a chance to relax, kind of come back from that aggressive sound that they just heard,
Yeah.
and then throw them back into a Presbyterian hymn, which is another badass track.
This one's interesting. I mean, this one wasn't one of my personal favorites.
I think this one was a badass song live.
Okay,
The
well,
way it
and
comes
hearing it
in.
live probably elevates it, so that's true.
The Cult of Shadoa.
This one was one of my favorites.
This is
This one
This
fucks.
is a good one. The intro, Beat Me Back, but I'll keep on climbing. That's just a hell of a way to just throw yourself into a song.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a crowd interaction thing too, because when they were playing it live, it was just dead silence almost, with a little bit of guitar feedback. He
Yeah.
screams that, the whole place just starts jumping. It was
Yeah.
insane. From there, it's just a badass flow of music. And that one part comes back up, keep on climbing.
Mm-hmm. Keep on climbing.
Yup. XN Genesis, or XGen Genesis.
Yeah, this one has an interesting title.
Yeah.
I liked this song a lot though. Like this is another like the back end of the album is really one of my favorite like stretches for me.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
It turns into a more melodic, slowed down, and then picks up. There's like hills
Yeah.
and valleys to the music where it goes from one extreme of super technical staccato picked riffs,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's a very smooth flowing. I don't know what you would call it. Well, the way it's all orchestrated, it's very smooth and thought out. This is stuff that I think when a band gets together, they write it on pen and paper, and then play it dozens of hours until it's perfect the way they want it.
Yeah,
That's the kind of music this is.
Yeah.
I mean, their first album was from 2011. I think this is their 5th album now. I was just looking, so they really take their time with
Yeah.
each album. They definitely.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of thought that goes into these albums.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only listened to this one, but I'm
I
sure
like
the other
that.
ones are similar.
I like when a band takes their time and then puts out quality shit, and it's not like an hour and a half where half the songs are worthless. Like,
Yeah.
This is only 37 minutes of music, but. You know.
I blasted through this album twice over, and I didn't realize how short it was.
Yeah, it's a fairly short album.
Because I would put this on at work, and it would be done by the time I'm like, literally, like 30 minutes in. Like, Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, I want more after that, you know? Like, that's...
Yeah.
An album that leaves you wanting more is something that I think is
Oh, yeah.
perfect, and this is what that album is.
Yeah.
The next one is the title track, Ontological Mysterium.
I like this one.
This one was pretty heavy.
Yeah, this one is pretty heavy.
This is another song that they play live. This is more towards the end of the set list.
Mm-hmm.
When they were pushing this album initially, I think they were just taking some of the best tracks
Yeah.
and throwing some cool ones in between, but most of the first half of the set was this album. And then,
Yeah.
like, the latter half was, like, the last two songs, which... Ontological Mysterium, this one was great. A lot of fun, but I think my favorite is the last one.
Yeah.
Very, AJ, you would say it's Pantera-inspired?
Yeah. A lot of influence, I feel like, in this track.
There's a groove to it.
It just, yeah, it feels like a modern groove metal sound, and it's really fantastic. This is probably one of my favorites, too. I don't know if it's my absolute favorite, but it's up there.
Yeah, dude.
I think it was probably my favorite out of the track list.
The chorus at the end of I'm ringing the death knell, go to hell.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is
Crazy.
pretty badass. That is one of the most insane choruses I've heard.
Yeah, this one was hardcore.
Pretty badass overall.
Yeah. So, final thoughts?
I dig it. I hope more people listen to this band, honestly, because they deserve fans. They deserve hype. This shit's badass. It's really cool.
I definitely agree. This is a band that I've never really heard much people talk about, and if you're into the metal scene, really check this one out. It's a fantastic album. I don't think it's one of the best things I've ever heard, but like they do a lot right, and I'm glad I listened to it.
Yeah, I'd say I don't have very much experience with the metal genre in general, like, other than a few albums we've reviewed on the channel.
Yeah.
So this is, like, it's nothing like anything else I've listened to.
Yeah.
It was definitely a good experience, but it takes me some getting used to, since it's not something I really listen to, like,
Understandable.
casually, so... But no, it was a good experience overall, and I definitely think that they're clearly talented, and it's like, there are a lot of thought behind this music, and it did sound very orchestral,
Mm-hmm.
just heavy metal at the same time, like,
Yeah.
so it was cool.
Yeah, dude.
Alright, let's go to scores.
I'm gonna get it 9.5.
Okay.
9.5.
Alright.
This album bangs.
Wow. Why is it not a 10?
Some of the songs in the middle, I not having much experience with them live, it threw me off initially just listening to them. There's a few things I was just like, I could live without it.
I understand that.
But with that only being a minor fault, which to be honest with you, it's negligible with the quality of the album. But a 9.5 is
That's
it's
fair.
banging.
I'm gonna give this album an 8 out of 10.
Solid.
I like it a lot. I think it's really fantastic. Like you said, some of the middle tracks are like kind of just okay to me, but I love the instrumentals, and the vocalists are from 95% of the time are really good on the songs.
Yeah.
Like there's some parts that are just okay to me, but it's really good overall, and I'd listen to more of their stuff.
I think I'm gonna give it a 7.5
Ooh, nice.
for basically the same reasons. I mean, with this kind of music, I'm not used to the super heavy, raspy vocals like that.
Yeah.
So it takes me some getting used to, but if I listen to it more times, like give the album a couple more listens, I'd probably enjoy it even more. But I didn't really have any complaints about the music itself.
Everybody will say that. It's the vocals that throw them off.
Because it almost...
It's
That was my first... When I was first listening to the first couple tracks, I was like, it almost feels like the vocals don't fit on it at first, because it... Like, it's a whole different genre once the vocals come into
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. But I do really like the playing. It's
when I
very
started getting into metal, there was a lot of characteristic voices that you would hear.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you're young and you don't know so much about specific styles of music like this, it will throw you off. Give it time, because I've warmed up to it. I think they're funny. I love that shit. I think it's stupid, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's needed in that kind of that sound.
I kind of agree though, because like it just takes a while to warm up to it. Because like there's a couple of years ago, I mean, this is a little off topic, but on a podcast I listened to Slipknot's first album back in 2020, and I hated that album.
Mm.
It's now one of my favorite Slipknot albums, and
Yeah.
it's a fantastic album to me.
Yeah, dude.
So it just takes time.
Cannibal Corpse was the same way for me.
I didn't like the sound of that, and now I actually dig their music. So
I thought
Yeah.
Cannibal Corpse was like the most scary shit ever, and I wouldn't like it. I have fucking shirts. I've seen Ace Ventura I don't know how many times.
just because of
Just-
Cannibal
Just
Corpse?
because of that, just that one little bit gives me hope as a metalhead. It's like, yeah, they could do it back then. They'll do it now.
Yeah.
The music itself is great. It's just over time things have changed and they wanted to get more crazy. So
Yeah.
that's where that decided to. Everybody from that point on decided to go heavier and more balls to the wall.
Mm.
But back to the album.
I guess it's my turn to pick. I'm gonna stick with metal,
Okay.
but we're gonna get a little softer than this. It's someone that we all love. We've seen live. No. We're going to do Euthanasia.
Megadeth? Hell
Yeah! We're doing Megadeth.
Yeah! Alright, Dave, you better not fucking disappoint me.
Nah, this one's a good one.
Alright, hell yeah, dude.